Okay, so we are back with the Plaxpot, and today we are removing these eyebrows because they are saturated with pigment and the pigment is going orange, and we're doing a quick saline pull, which I'll show you, actually salt pull. So let's get ready. Okay, so there's no need to put alcohol or anything on the brows. You don't have to worry about stuff like that. All you're going to need is cotton buds. You need some salt, and you need to make sure that your salt is powdery. I'll show you it in a minute. And you also need just cotton pads. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put it onto, you can use two settings. It'll either be Conti 1, which is the lowest setting, or I have used Pulse 40 for this as well. So you can use either of those. And what we're going to do first of all, and by the way, you can take out just like one line if you've done 1 or 2 lines of bad microblading strokes. Just move the camera a bit, yeah, so you can see what I'm saying. If you've got, you know, a couple of bad strokes, or you want to take out the fronts, you can just do that. You don't have to take out the whole eyebrow. So here we go. So what we're doing is we're just breaking the skin. Try and push away the eyebrow hair, because this will take it out, but it will come back. Okay, so if you do lose eyebrow hair, don't panic, it will grow back. And so we want to wipe away the skin that we've just burnt off. Can you see that? Do a little bit more. How's that, Sydney? You alright?
Yeah, fine.
Wipe it away. And then all you do is you take your salt. So you only need a tiny bit like that. And you just pop it on the bit that you've burnt away. Turn your head gently so people can see. And then you press it. And keep your finger there. Keep pressing it for a few minutes. And the salt will work its way into the skin, and then it will start to pull the pigment out naturally. And what is left behind will be a little red patch that you can either let it heal and then it will go back to normal skin colour, or you can re-tattoo it. But you can't re-tattoo it until about 3 months has passed. So I've now enough time for that skin to heal. Just leave that pulling. You can brush away the excess, it's not doing any good whatsoever. And leave that, carry that pulling. Can you feel that, Sydney?
Yeah.
Is it stingy?
A little bit, but it's just like
Thank you very much.
sanitizer in a cut or something. It's not too painful.
No. So where we're going to work on is all this nasty mixed up colour you've got going on up here. And by the way, this should just be a one-time treatment. But if you need to do it another time, you can without any problem. It just helps you to get that harsh line out the top, hey? It could take a few weeks for the hair to come back, but just reassure your client that yes, it will come back. Otherwise they might start freaking out. Just keep rubbing, so you're breaking the skin but you're not making it bleed. And literally what I'm doing is working along that edge. See. So put that down, and then we'll put some of those salt in. Make sure that you cover the whole area that you're working on. Obviously don't get the salt into the lady's or the client's eye, like I've just done. Just keep your eye shut, Sydney, because it will sting. It won't hurt your eye, but it will just sting. You don't want to do that particularly. Okay, and then just cover it, so then press it. I would do this over a course of treatments, simply because I don't want my client walking around without any eyebrow hair, because if I do it all over the eyebrow, it literally will take all of the eyebrow hair away. So what we're doing is just bit by bit, so the new hair will come back and then we can see where else that we have to take. I actually prefer pink Himalayan salt because I'm actually putting minerals back into the skin while I'm actually working on it, but it is preference. I just seem to get a better result with pink Himalayan. But ordinary salt, as long as you grind it to a fine powder, will work as well. You okay?
Yeah, feels like I need to sneeze.
And the best thing to do is to leave this salt pulling that pigment as long as possible. So I normally just brush away the excess and then leave it, just let it sit, so we can work on to the other eyebrow. Yeah, you've got some pretty thick strokes up here. So we're going to start at the front again. Same setting, pulse 40 hertz, level number 3. Okay, I'm coming in on this one now. So we're still sparking, we're not actually touching the skin, you all right?
Yeah.
We're just taking off those top layers.
I might sneeze in a minute.
You let me know if you're going to sneeze. Sydney's already tried to get her eyebrows removed, but was told by, and you actually wanted them to have them re-tattooed, but they won't touch it when there's such a lot of different colours going on. Anyone who does try to tattoo over this, it doesn't really know what they're doing, because if you then tattooed more ink into it, it's just going to be a disaster. You'll end up with maybe orange, purples, greens. Goodness knows what colours going on, because the colours get into the skin and then they change colour. They'll mix with the other pigments that are in there, and then you've got rainbow eyebrows. So if you can see, look. I'm not touching the skin, I'm literally just taking off the top layers, because I've got to try and break the skin to let the salt get into the skin to pull it. It does it very successfully. It's already starting to work now. I'm pulling them on the other eyebrow, can't even say it. Downtime on this is a few days. I mean, your client's going to walk around with scabby eyebrows for a few days while it's healing. Sorry, I don't want to stop you breathing. But I'm sure that's not too bad when considering that there's no really other way to remove this unless they went for a laser, and I wouldn't recommend that either, not for permanent makeup. It's really not necessary. I've actually pulled out body tattoos using this treatment. But with body tattoos you do have to be careful, because obviously they're a lot deeper and you could end up with some scarring. So, okay, so let's try and see what we're doing with that. Hold on. Grab here. So just wipe away the skin that you've basically burnt, so the salt can get down to the lower levels. Anything that has a pulling action, like bicarbonate of soda, you can also use that, but to get the best results I prefer salt. Okay, and after 15 minutes you can basically just wipe that away. The pigment's all in the salt. As I'm taking it off I can actually see it. You can see it, look, see? You can actually wipe it and see the pigment is in the salt that I'm wiping away. But that will just go on and just leave it. Leave the residue salt on the brow. Make sure you've got no salt going into your eye. Yeah, leave the residue salt, because that can carry on pulling. You don't want to wash it away or anything, just leave it. It's a bit messy, but worth it. Such a worthwhile treatment this is. Okay, so I've taken that back. See, you will see the odd eyebrow here, but don't panic, she's still got lots there. So take the salt. Just run it along the area that I've worked on. And press. You keep pressing for around about 10 minutes to get the maximum. So I'll stop now and then I'll come back.